Here's how to improve your boxing defense in just 5 minutes. Let's talk about footwork first. You're going to utilize your footwork to create range, angles, and you're going to use feints with your footwork to be able to mitigate aggression. When you use your range, try to find out if your opponent's an in fighter or an out fighter, meaning if they're short range or they're like to fight on the outside, so long range. One way you can utilize your footwork for defense purposes against an outside fighter would be going all the way on the inside. These guys aren't going to have room to be able to throw their punches properly, so you want to be stuck to them. Great way to make sure you also stay safer against an outside fighter using your footwork. Stay close at an angle. So if they're in front of you here, you want to go out of their midline here. And you can grab hold of their elbows and be able to mitigate their punches as well, as they're trying to clobber you with the other hand, but they have no space to be able to throw properly. So outside fighters usually are guys lankier and have longer range. Use your footwork to be able to go all the way on the inside and keep the fight on the inside. Vice versa, if you're a shorter fighter, if you're a longer range fighter and you have an opponent that's shorter range than you, you want to utilize your real estate. Use the whole ring. Keep the fight in the middle of the ring. Use your fancy footwork, lateral movements. You can even step back, step forward, and that's how you're going to mitigate the aggression from the inside fighter. Now for feints, using your footwork for feints, you want to feint forward, make them go towards you or back up, and whatever their reaction is as your feint, take in that data and see how you're going to utilize your footwork to be able to get angles for your own offense or angles to exit out and keep some distance between you. That's how you're going to utilize your footwork to improve your defense. Next up, how to properly block to improve your defense. When you block, you want to protect 3 points on your head: your temple, your chin, and your ear. So when you block, bring the hand slightly up and then lean towards the side of the punch you're getting hit at. That'll help blunt the damage of the attack. So if you have no choice but to take damage, hands up high, lean into it, blunt the damage, and then go back to your stance and or counter back. When you block from the lead hand, same idea, lean into it slightly. This one, lean into it slightly from the rear hand. When you block to the body, drop the elbow, but you do not want to drop the hand. Unless you're fairly skilled using that Philly shell style, you want to make sure you keep it standard. You're going to drop the elbow, hands are high, take the punch, take the hit, come back up. Take the punch, take the hit, come back up, making sure you keep the hands up here still, and you just drop the elbow downwards. Same idea as the head block, you want to blunt it by leaning into the punch, and then make sure you have either a counter or an exit plan after that. Also, you want to make sure you use your parries. If the opponent is using a lot of jabs and linear punches, you want to parry that, counter back or parry it, and exit. It's one great way to improve your defense. Parry, boom, counter back, and then exit. You can combine these two. So parry, counter, exit out, or parry, exit. You just want to make sure you utilize these 3 techniques: your block, your body block, and your parry, to help your defense while you're sparring. And finally, there's head movement: slips, ducks, and rolling under. Make sure you do have either an exit plan or a counter-attack plan directly after you use your head movement. So if I have an aggressive opponent and I'm trying to be defensive, I'll slip his linear punches, and then I'll deke out using some lateral movement, or I'm going to slip, counter fire, and then making sure I mitigate that aggression. You don't want to just slip and roll under all the time, unless you're Pernell Whitaker, but he always also counter back a lot. But he will go slip, move out, continue your offense, or slip and get out of the way. With blocking and head movement, the main thing about these moves is to either use an exit or a counter attack after you use them. If you block, you better know what you're going to do afterwards, because you need to know where the openings are. If you block the head, for example, from the rear side, you know that their lead hand is going to be down and attacking. You can throw that same side back. If you're going to do head movement, same thing. When you spar, you'll find the angles. When you slip, usually a right hand or a rear hand down the middle is going to really be a good counter attack. Slip, boom, slip, hook, slip, body shot. You're going to learn a lot about this during sparring, but you want to make sure that you slip, and either you're going to counter fire back or slip or roll, and you exit out to make sure you stay defensive throughout the whole fight. So slips and blocks, you have to make sure either you exit or you counter, and make sure you use them properly. Good luck in your next sparring session.